Hello there folks, welcome to Joe's Bus Train Plan Lift Adventures, and after a lovely time in Orlando, we are back in the UK just in time to do the route that I was waiting to do for a while, and that is the 242 service connecting Stourbridge and Kinver, which has recently been taken over by Diamond Bus. And Diamond, however, used to do the service before, but however, it was known as the 227 and the 228. The 227 was Stourbridge to Kinver, whilst the 228 was Kinver to Russell's Hall Hospital near Dudley via the Merry Hill Shopping Centre. So what we're doing today, we're going over to do the 242, and the buses on the route is right street lights. And of course got one of the newer street lights on today, and the change that's happened that throughout most of the day, throughout the mornings up until lunchtime, the service is half hourly, whilst the rest of the day, believe it or not, is just hourly. But I'm going to sample the route today, and of course, as you might have known with the letters DIA, that means DIA stands for Diamond. So we're going over to the bus terminal to get on the 242. And we're off. Here we go, departing from Stourbridge Interchange on the 242 to Kinver. Operated now by Diamond Buses, which was previously Select Bus Services. So, welcome back. Anyway, we are just now awaiting to proceed off Stourbridge Interchange as we head towards Kinver. And so here we go, just now waiting to head over towards Kinver. Okay, here we go, we're now setting off. So once again, sorry if I was like a bit bizarre earlier with my speech, but once again, I repeat once again, the 242, well the 228, sorry, was going to be suddenly withdrawn because of obvious reasons at the time. Now it was going to be Kinver to be without a regular frequent bus service, because the only one that would have survived if there was no Stourbridge route would have been the 580, which is the Kinver to Kidderminster one, which only operates twice a day, 3 days a week. And that at the time was operated by Wollaston. And Wollaston at the same time was also coming to an end, and then another operator was meant to be doing it, but obviously due to operational problems, the route was handed back on behalf of the council, and Diamond took over at the last minute. But it was too late for Diamond to keep the 228 service running, and it was passed on to the Green Bus Company. Now the Green Bus Company, however, did a handful of service work in the past, but obviously it was only on short notice. And of course they were good for like when they were doing the rail replacement services, and of course the school contracts. Did some emergency tendered work for the 38 route that went from Salioak to Northfield, that was operated by IGO, but then that got passed over to the custom operator, and now that's been combined into the 55 route that goes from Quinton Tesco's, which is at Bridgeacre, down to Longbridge. That route, however, is still operated by a custom operator, and the Green Bus created a 242 service running from Merry Hill to Kinver, on sharing the hour with the 228. So the 242 went a different way out of Merry Hill. It went via the Woodmore village to go towards Stourbridge, and before joining up with the 228 route at the island where the number 8 goes, and then following the 228, the 250 and the 251 routes into Stourbridge, and then the 242 then diverted off to serve the Junction train station, then to Old Swinford, and then towards Hyde Park, before rejoining the 228 once again all the way into Kinver. So the green bus took over, but they cut off the Merry Hill section, so it only ran between Stourbridge down to Kinver. And then in 2021 the green bus cancelled the operation, cancelled the running of the 242, and was then handed over to Select Bus Services, which do services within Wolverhampton, Staffordshire and Shropshire. And then the council then updated the timetable, so we departed on 10 past the hour, which we've departed on, and but however that didn't last long, because in January the council then stepped in to take over to reroute the 242 via the route which we're taking now to go towards Kinver via Wollaston Junction, a bit like what the 228 used to do. And it also included the Hyperion road, which we're going to go along, and which we're going to go along. So the Hyperion road is the loop that where a bus service had probably not been served before, believe it or not. And then and also they added an additional school service. It was the 742 at first, which was a school run, but now the school run goes round areas which have not been seen any bus services for quite a long time, and that is the 242S, and that service does a bit of a good detour. Now that it does a bit of a good old detour. It goes round so the route itself, it goes round the height. So the route itself, the 242S, once again, it goes round towards Prestwood, then it goes towards part of Ashwood, and then it goes up to All Heath, where existing bus services serve, like the 16, the 17 and the 57, and also the 5A, and then it goes up towards Penn Way, well, not Penn, it goes towards nearby Rugby, Himley, and then after Himley it goes over towards the Halfpenny Green, the Highgate Common. Sometimes it goes on the Gospel Ash Road, and depending on diversions, and it also goes by Wolverhampton Business Airport. And that part of Covers is part of the old 582 service, which was the Kinver to Wolverhampton. And I believe the 580 covered most of that section as well, when Travel West Midlands used to do the service. And the 582, then it goes to the 6 Ashes, then through Enville. But obviously, as you know, Enville has no bus service. The only service they offer is the community minibus service, and then it comes into Kinver. And so Select carried on operating the service throughout 2022, 2023. But however, in 2024 there was a handful of changes that were coming into force in September just gone, and the 242 was on the list of the changes, and that saw a bit of a change what would happen with the future of the 242. But however, it turned out that Select did not continue to operate the service. Instead, the route was once again handed back to Diamond. So now we got Diamond back on the 242, and that's the route we're doing today. And sorry if it took a while to process for me to plan to do the route, but now we're finally doing it. The service all the way to Kinver, and I'm looking forward, and I'm on it. So let's go all the way to Kinver, 242, operated by Diamond. So we're now in Wollaston. Now Wollaston is the terminus of the number 7 service from Dudley, and of course you've got the Wollaston farm area, which is served by the number 8, and that goes to Wolverhampton. That's the Platinum service, and that is a Platinum route. It uses Enviro 400 NMC Platinum buses. get to Bridge North, you have to return to Stourbridge and jump onto the 125. It goes via Kidderminster and Bewdley. And that is a brilliant route, the 125. Is I highly recommend for those people who've not been on the 125 yet, you should check that route out. And my favourite route has to be the country routes, the rural routes, because you get to see loads of different exciting areas. And so we're now going to be coming to the Hyperion now. So you're coming towards the Hyperion. There's a number 8 Platinum bus, 6773 on the 8 heading towards Wolverhampton. That's going to go via Stourbridge, then through the Maryhill Shopping Centre, up to Dudley, then across the Birmingham Road, through Roseville and into Wolverhampton. And then we'll join onto the X8 to go towards Birmingham via Dudley and Blackheath. And to Blackheath, and then across the Hagley Road into the centre of Birmingham. We are just now approaching the Hyperion Junction. Over at the Hyperion, so we're also on the border of Staffordshire, because obviously Staffordshire is around, so we're now on Staffordshire, so we're just going to do the loop around the Hyperion Road. So this is the end bit of Dudley, so this is in between the Dudley and the Staffordshire boundary, because by the time you come off this boundary you come under Staffordshire and you can see the street lamps have changed colour. Rather than a Dudley Council style sign, they're now being marked as Staffordshire Council. They're now under part of Staffordshire. And Staffordshire, I do tend to go to Staffordshire quite a lot, because obviously when we went to Manchester Airport 2 weeks ago, when we were going over to Orlando, we went through North Staffordshire, so that meant going through Stafford, over the M6, Docksey, and then over the West Coast Main Line towards, which is the London to Glasgow. Obviously, the lines split at Stafford if you're heading in the London direction, and then join back up at Rugby. Now, this is a bit tight here, going round down the Hyperion, so obviously they sometimes use this bit as a request stop. So they have to use this part here as a request stop in case of any parked vehicles. Okay, here we go. We are, just bear with me until I drop my camera back up. And so, video resume as normal. Now it's been a while since we've last been filming buses, because obviously because of the Orlando trip, and we're now back to it, so we'll be filming more and more. And to be honest with you, this is one of my favourite routes, the 242, Stourbridge to Kinver, alongside the 580, the Kidderminster one, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be back on the 580 in a not too distant future, with no doubt. Definitely going to be back on the 580 very soon. I will look forward to doing it again to Kidderminster. I know that the 580 is one of my favourite routes, and even the 202 that goes from Bronx Road to Hale services in Kinver. That has not happened in like 6 years ago now, like before 2018. had Diamond doing the 2 to 8, 2 to 7 and 580. So I remember the 580 doing. I remember Diamond being on the 580 before. But when Diamond was doing the 580 before, it was a 6 day, but it was 6 days a week, but now it's been reduced to 3. slab lane and comes up the hill into Wollaston, and then goes by the locking pub and then goes down Sign Hill onto Broadwaters before proceeding past the Rose Theatre and then coming into the horse fair and then terminating at the Kidderminster bus station. 242, however, that goes via 242, however, that goes via different routes. The 242 comes in this way and out this way. So we're just now by the locking door, but not the locking, the line. I don't know why I'm saying the locking, that's in Wolverley. But it's been a fantastic journey, and I'm looking forward to delivering you more exciting videos on this channel. Joe's Cross Track Adventures. Shout out to the Black Country Traveller. You should check out this route, 242, Stourbridge to Kinver. And now, as you know, DIA now operate 2 buses on this route. So they're now operating 2 buses on this route, which is brilliant. So it's half hourly throughout most of the morning. So here we are, in Kinver. We are just now waiting for clearance before we can proceed into the village. It's a brilliant route, this one is. So we're just going past the Burgesses. Just going past the Burgesses. So there's the old Star Shop. Co-op food. Well, part of the Mid-Counties group. Since end of August. So now we're going to go around toward Potter's Cross, where this service terminates. So the 242 terminates at Potter's Cross before making a return back to Stourton. And here we go. Just now doing the last leg of the journey up to Potter's Cross, which is at the back end of Kinver.